Are Christians forced to employ hyper-evolution or rapid evolution to explain today's amount of species after the animals left the ark?
Diane?
Well, there's certainly been a lot of change, and quite rapid change. People think that creationists don't believe in change. Yes, we do. We believe in a lot of change, but it's not evolution. And I think this would be a good question to follow up on another sort of after the flood program. We're starting to run out of time. But yes, as animals dispersed in smaller groups, you would have small groups that would only interbreed with one another, and they would lose the ability to breed with other animals where they've been physically separated from one another. Technically, that is speciation, but it's not evolution. It's just a splitting up of the kinds, and it can happen quite rapidly. But so yes, it's a rapid change, but it's not evolution.
And we're looking at, you go, Glenn.
No, go ahead. And I'm going to add something.
Well, I was just going to say that we're looking at it in an upside-down way to the evolutionists. We're not gradually evolving a whole bunch of new genes. We're starting with the perfect gene pool, and in a good environment pre-flood. And then post-flood, you've got all of these variable environments and conditions that the creatures then, with their sort of perfect, or maybe slightly less than perfect, following the fall gene pool, then sort of adapts to, and it could have been quite quick in some circumstances. One of the things that jumps to my mind immediately is orchids, and the great variety of orchids that we see, and some of them are very specific in the environment that they like.
And I was going to add, after the flood, we go into this ice age. Well, it's going to put them into that extreme environment so that you're going to see this expressions of the genes that already exist coming out. Mm-hmm. It's not hyper, particularly if you look at, we talked about the mammoths. Mammoths are very slow. They're an elephant, very slow reproduction. They have one every 5 years. So if you look at after the flood, well, by year 10, you would have only had those two mating twice. Now you've only got 4. You've had the 2 original plus their 2 new ones. By year 100, you've only got around 1,000. Well, I've got it as 1,258 that have reproduced. But by the time you get 200 years, you've got 232,000 of them. Then by the time you get to the peak of the ice age, which is around, year 350, you got 25 million. Well, if you take that same compounding interest and you start exposing those to these various extreme environments of an ice age, and wetter areas and then drying out areas, you could very easily, very rapidly see this diversification of the kinds within the kinds.